Okay, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the ugly stuff that I've got going on in my tank. A few of you might look at this tank and think, wow, look at some of the corals. But when I look at the tank, I see the Vermetid snails, I see Asterina Starfish, I see the ugly algae on the rocks. I've also got some bad Cyanobacteria at the moment as well. And I just want to go through in this video about how I get rid of some of these problems. I brought some more cleanup crew. So I'm going to go through and show you some of the cleanup crew that I've got. What else we're going to talk about? I'm also going to do my parameters as well. So, you know, a lot of you sort of like to follow along about how I do this. So I'll whack my parameters up every week as well when I test, obviously. And that's it. So sit back, enjoy the video. And at the end, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does help me massively. Okay. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to talk about, probably the worst thing in my tank that I don't really like, is Vermetid snails. And I've got loads of Vermetid snails all over the rocks. And they just annoy the corals. They're in the bases of the acros as well. So I'm going to have to get them out and cut them out of the corals, because when they put their webs up, they really irritate the corals. Okay, I'm going to go to war on the Vermetid snails. So there's no more feeding any coral food or anything like that. I'm going to get my turkey baster in there, and I'm going to try and break off some of the Vermetid snails, the tubes, to help with the bumblebee snails that I brought. They can get in there and sort of, you know, they'll kill them off a little bit better if you start breaking some of the shells. Okay, I'm going to up the filtration so there's less particles in the water. I'm also going to skim better, and later on I'll do the dock test, or the white bucket test, and just have a look how yellow the water is, because all that organic carbon in the water will be feeding the Vermetid snails. I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's the Vermetid snails there. You can see them on the rock, just the little tubes. There is thousands of them in here, so it is going to be pretty hard to break them. But yeah, I go through with my my siphon tube and just see if I can just do what I can. I also brought 10 bumblebee snails, and I'm hoping that they do the job of taking out some of these Vermetid snails, especially the smaller ones around the corals. These guys eat other snails, so if I break some of the tubes, these guys should be able to eat them and kill them that way. Okay, this coral here, this is the pink lemonade, the yellowy type coral that I've got in the center. The polyps have just closed, and I think it's the Vermetid snails around the base is just irritating it, because you can see the coral behind, the frag of it. The polyps are out, it's healthy, it's happy. You can see here the Vermetid snails, see them putting their webs up, and that's just touching the skin of the aquapora, which is irritating the coral. So I'm going to take it out, and I'm just going to chop off some of these Vermetid snails. This is the best way to remove them. And this is why my bases are so good, because I can just pick out the coral and I can just cut them off and they're gone. Okay, another way to starve out Vermetid snails is to add Reef blizzard or coral snow to the aquarium, especially after you've just fed. So their webs will be out, and then you're going to suffocate them. They're going to take in this. I'm roughly going to add 25 mils of blizzard to the water, and see this cloud up. Got to make sure you give it a good shake before you add it as well. And hopefully this will help also get rid of the Vermetid snails, because when I was using this before, there was a lot less Vermetid snails. So let's see, you can already hear the filter roller turning over. Okay, that's the coral snow into the water, and you can see how long some of the webs are. See this one here on the side of the coral, and look at its web coming up. And that's the thing that irritates the corals. Okay, you can see here some of the ugly stuff. Okay, there's a bit of cyano on the glass there, a little bit detritus. And it's probably everything's in this shot. If you zoom back a bit, you've got the Vermetid snails. You can see them all over the rocks here. You've got a bit of green algae on the glass as well. There's got to be a Asterina starfish. Oh yeah, I can see a couple of Asterina starfish in the bottom corner as well. So in this just one shot, I've got my cyanobacteria, I've got Vermetid snails, I've got Asterina starfish, I've got a little green bit of algae. And that's what I look at when I look at the tank. Okay, what else have I got going on? I've got some sort of brown algae that's always on the back of the baffle, and I have to clean this off every week. But you have a look at how thick this stuff is when I start moving this. This is the stuff the purple tang absolutely loves, but look how thick that algae is. Yeah, that's a weekly event, me cleaning this off. And that is probably normal in a high nutrient system like what I've got here. I feed well, I've got a good load of fish. So yeah, it's pretty normal to have a build up like this on the glass. But this is the sort of stuff you have to watch if you don't clean this off. If I just let it go, and if I leave it too long, say a month, then that could turn into more of a problem as I'm dealing with it, getting it off into the water column. It's going over the overflow, getting picked up by the filter roller or skimmer, and then going through the UV as well, so killing it that way as well. So yeah, that's the ugly sort of brown algae that I have in my tank. But that's not really a massive issue. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not, if that's coming out clear, but there's a good picture of some of the nasty algae that I have in my tank. This pump's only been in for sort of probably about a month or so. And look at the build up on that already. It's hairy, it's nasty brown algae. Okay, here we're going to show you some of the cyanobacteria that I've got in my tank. See the frags there with the new corals on. Some cyanobacteria on these ones here on the glass. And that got worse as soon as I started using the bio pellets. It just, just feeds cyanobacteria, that stuff. So I've already taken that offline as well. That's one thing I have changed straight away is I no longer have the bio pellets. That lasted about a week and a half, and yeah, I just took it out. It just wasn't working for me. It was causing me more dramas, more issues than it was fixing. So also the skimmer is working a lot better now that I've moved it back to the right place. I gave it a good clean, and the skimmer is doing really well. It's taken out lots of junk. I've given it I didn't clean the pump. I just jet washed it, got all in there with my turkey baster, and removed some of the stuff that was in the bottom of the skimmer. So yeah, that's the sump. Nice and clean, back to how I like it. No bio pellets, no reactor there. And what I'm going to put there is I'm going to put the carbon back on, because I've always used carbon, and I think it's essential in a tank, especially a SPS tank like this, because I'm a big fan of carbon. But I basically took my carbon offline and stuck some bio pellets in there that was feeding the bacteria. And it wasn't only just feeding good bacteria, it was feeding the cyano in the tank as well. And to not really do much reducing nitrates, I was like, there's no point. So I took that off straight away. I saw it as a bad change. I'd rather have high nitrates of sort of 25 to 30 than have my tank full of cyanobacteria and my nitrates being at 20. Okay, what we're going to do now is the DOC test, the dissolved organic carbon. You can see it's the white bucket test. I've got 20 litres of fresh, that's on the right hand side, and then I've got 20 litres of the dirty stuff on the left hand side. You have a look at that. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. It's not really yellow, but you know, there is a massive difference between the one on the right, which is clean, fresh, and then 20 litres of the dirty stuff. And that's what's feeding my algae, feeding the corals as well. So it's not all bad, but I'm just going to try and see if I can reduce that with a bit of carbon. And that'll be feeding the Vermetid snails as well, that stuff that's in there. Yeah, I just need to start removing some of that. There's a closer look at some of the cyano. It's not really bad, but I don't have a sand bed. If I had a sand bed, I think it would be a lot worse than this. And that's an easy thing to fix. I've just got to lower my nutrients, and that fixes it by itself. There's no need to start dosing stuff. Just fix the problem and it will go away. And I started feeding it with the bio pellets. I was basically just feeding the cyanobacteria. It was one of my really stupid ideas, but you do get these things. And as long as you spot it and you know what you've done, you can change it back. And it's all about trial and error. If you don't try things, you don't know. And that's how I've learned in this hobby. I tried something, it doesn't work, stopped it, gone back. There's an Asterina starfish. You know, I don't mind a handful. They are quite good at getting right up into the corals and giving it a right clean. But at the moment, I've got thousands of them. I just want to reduce their population a little bit. So that's why I've added the harlequin shrimp. And hopefully, you know, that will take out majority of these. But we'll still have them in the sump. He never will get rid of all of them. So harlequin shrimps are starfish predators, and they will kill hundreds of Asterina starfish. This is quite a small guy, so it's going to take a long time to really put down the population. But look at the colors of this guy. Absolutely beautiful. Like I said before, I don't really mind the Asterina starfish too much, as they do a good job of cleaning around the bases of the corals. I just need to really heavily reduce the population. And this guy is going to help me definitely do that. At the end, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does help me out massively. Also, if you've got any comments, if you want to ask me some questions, go ahead and do so, because that helps me sort of think about next sort of subjects that I'm going to do in my next videos, because I'm doing this weekly and it is quite hard to find subjects. And if I've got a few sort of comments and some questions, then I can dig those out and go through some of them for you in a bit more sort of in-depth sort of video. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.